Yo, what's good? It is your boy Hard 8 Times, the truth for YouTube. What's going on, everybody? What's happening? If you missed my last video, the link will be down in the description. Also, Facebook group, gamer tags, and my Twitch account, which you can follow me on Twitch because I am streaming nowadays, live streaming or whatever like that. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you follow me on Twitch and things like that. Now, a NeoGAF poster who goes by the name of Thuway. Now, I heard this guy is he's banned from NeoGAF, and I also heard that he's one of the most reliable people out there. So you can go ahead and take this with a grain of salt. Now, he is saying that he talked to a unnamed developer, you know, a ghost, and he asked the person, what is the biggest bottleneck for the PS4 and the Xbox One? And the developer told him it was memory. Yes, the biggest bottleneck is the 8 gigs of unified memory for the Xbox One and the PS4. Now, I don't really see how this is possible. I don't really see how this is possible because, you know, me being a PC player or whatever, I played games at 1080p, you know, games like Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, Max Payne 3. These are games that you know, I played at 1080p native, 60 frames per second. These games have, you know, high-res textures, HD textures, whatever you want to call them, ambient occlusion, a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. And none of these games were using over 4 gigs of RAM. You know what I mean? Even people that play at higher resolutions like 1440, 1600 are not using over 4 gigs of RAM when they're playing these highly intensive, graphic intensive games like Metro Last Light or Battlefield and Max Payne and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I heard Skyrim can use a little over 4 gigs at times, but even that game doesn't, you know, use that much memory. So now that this guy is going on to say that the bottleneck will be memory, it's kind of crazy. No, it won't be the CPU, it won't be the texture count, none of that. It's going to be memory. Now, the PS3 and the 360, they got along just fine with 512 megabytes. We know some good graphical games came out, even all the way up to the end with the PS3, like games like The Last of Us, and, you know, there are some great graphical looking games on consoles that was running off of 512 megabytes. Now you are telling me that 8 gigs won't be enough? Now, we know that all 8 gigs doesn't go to gaming. I believe it's 2 gigs that goes to the OS, and the other 6 goes to gaming. I mean, he even also said that there are games in development right now that utilizes as much as 6 gigs of RAM. So you can take this with a grain of salt. We'll just have to wait and see. But the last thing I thought would be a bottleneck for the consoles, the last thing I would have thought was the memory. I thought 8 gigs of memory was just fine. Like when I first heard, you know, when we all first found out that the systems were going to have 8 gigs of RAM, we all was like, oh shit, that's way more than enough. You know what I mean? That is way more than enough, especially coming from 512 megabytes. Come on. You know what I mean? So this is kind of a shock. Maybe that's why this is being reported. Maybe that's why this dude threw this out here to get people talking and to get, you know, a reaction, because to think that 8 gigs won't be enough, to think that 8 gigs will be the bottleneck for the next gen consoles, it just doesn't sound right. It really doesn't. Even and it also doesn't sound right knowing that when you're on PC, you're not even using more than 4 gigs most of the time, even at higher resolutions. Damn sure not at 1080p. And we already know 1080p is going to be the highest that these games are going to go on consoles. So at 1080p on PC, you're not using more than 4 gigs of RAM. So I don't know, man. We're just going to have to wait and see. Like I said, you could take this with a grain of salt, but let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. I damn sure didn't think, if I had to guess, I wouldn't have chose the memory. I would have said the CPU or something like that. Damn sure wouldn't have said the memory. But let me know what y'all think down in the comment section about this. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. This is your boy Hard Eat, and I'm out. Deuces.
Hey! Hey! New shoes on the Range Rover, good with mine. Yeah, motherfuckers act like I